Hello everyone, welcome back to Center Stand Mechanics. My name is Kyle, and it's been a while since I posted a video, and it's nice to be back in the shop making videos again. I'm going to be trying to work on the xs650, and I got some work to do, the Virago 1000, my wife's bike, and yeah, and I just been busy sorting out things in my yard, and I had to move my shed over there. It was a little bit too close to the back line, so I had to bring it forward, and of course that meant moving a whole bunch of stuff around and reorganizing. Plus I built another storage shed over at my daughter's place in her backyard, and I'm going to keep some bikes there as storage and stuff. So was busy working, finishing on that and stuff, and yeah, and then everything was all disorganized in here, and I finally kind of got things back together. I got a few more things in here now because I'm kind of running out of room. But yeah, for the most part, I think I'm up and running again. I kind of was looking forward to start making videos this weekend, and things didn't turn out exactly how I wanted to. I was involved in a major accident yesterday while I was at work, and it turned out all right. Everybody, you know, is going to live, but not without, you know, quite a bit of pain. And you know, basically I drive a big commercial truck for a living, and I was fully loaded, and I was upwards close to, you know, 96,000 pounds, give or take. It was maybe a little bit less than that, but that's the maximum that truck would hold, and I was pretty much up to the limit there anyways. And basically, you know, it was the afternoon. I was just driving down the road, speed limit in my lane, and out of nowhere, for whatever reason, the guy in a car crossed over the center lane and just zoomed right into the front of my truck. And before I locked it out the best I could. You can tell I tried to get off to my side of the road as much as I can to the right, but there was no way to avoid him, and smacked right into him head on. And then so when he hit me, it tore the whole front wheels right off my truck that I was driving, and they turned hard to the left, which caused my truck to instantly turn left. And so I ended up across the road with the nose in the ditch on the wrong side of the road, like, and but that's why, because when he hit me, the wheels turned, and I went over this way. Didn't flip over or anything. I left a huge strips of skid marks going up, and yeah. Anyways, it was just one guy in the car, and you know, I ended up getting out, and I helped him get out of the car. He was coherent enough that, you know, he was in a lot of pain and stuff, and, you know, it looked to me like he might have broke his arm or something like that, but for the most part, he was just, you know, you get the airbags in the face, and then the side of the head, he had the ones up on the side here, and yeah, he was lucky. Like, you know, he hit, you know, he's probably had a rough night, and probably a rough couple of weeks ahead, but, you know, in the end, I'm pretty confident he'll you know, make pretty full recovery. You know, he might be, you know, might have some long-term damage or something, but hopefully it'll work out for him. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to do all this stuff in my shop, but it's like, today's a whole different day. So yeah, that being said, I kind of want to just pass on, you know, like, I'm not sure why he crossed the line or whatever, he wasn't paying attention or whatever, but, you know, it was pretty, pretty, what's the word? Pretty strong consequence for not paying attention for a second. So it's it's important. Everybody kind of does their part, and keep your vehicle in your lane, and because a little mistake could be pretty life changing and stuff like that. I know it's kind of changed my attitude towards things and stuff, and and I kind of think if I had been in my motorcycle and not my big rig, I might not be here, and there's nothing to, there's nothing you can do. If somebody darts over and runs right into you, you don't have a chance, So, yeah, so stay frosty out there, guys, and, I hope nothing like that happens to you, because I've been driving commercial trucks for over 30 years now, and I've never had a major accident like that. So, and you hear things, you're like, how does that always, how does that happen? Like, how do people do it? It happens, man. And sometimes you just can't avoid it. Like, you just can't do anything about it. And it was weird because at first when he came over, I thought he was like maybe pulling like a shitty left turn. You know how sometimes people dart across in front of you and you're like, but they make it, they dart across and go into a side, driveway or entrance or whatever. And you're like, hey, whatever. But so at first I kind of thought that's what was happening. And then when I realized, no, slammed on the brakes. And then it was like, oh, and I knew I was going to hit. Bam! Frick, we hit so hard. Oncoming collisions are crazy. Like, I probably slowed the truck down a bit, but probably and kind of turned away as much as I could. But when I was fully loaded, man. Like, there's not much you can do about that. So, anyways, yeah, I just wanted to say, be careful out there, folks. Things can change in an instant, and and things, could have been worse. One thing I'll say is if I don't know this guy, but like maybe he was having a bad day or whatever, and he wasn't paying attention, and if he's out there driving like that, it's probably good in a way that he hit me and my truck because it was so solid and not like a family, a young family in a smaller car, because the outcome wouldn't have been as good. So, he hit me and not the person behind me in a small car, because there was several cars that, were traveling behind me, and then they stopped seeing the whole thing. But, if they had to hit them and their smaller vehicles, it would have taken them out, right? So I took the, I took the fall. He's going to be okay. His car is toast. Like, it's absolutely, I don't think I should be showing pictures, right now. Cause he's probably, I'm pretty sure he's still in the hospital and stuff. And I'm 99% sure he's going to be okay. But, I don't really want to be posting stuff like that. It's too early, but that's, I was planning on making, videos and all this stuff, but then that happened. So it's a little bit different day for me. Anyways, so yeah, that being said, I kind of wanted to work outside. I got the Virago out here and set up. I gotta do a bunch of work to the, let's see, I gotta do the front fork seals. And of course, all that oil's been leaking on the brakes, so I'm going to put new brake pads. And it kind of feels like the calipers are seized on that bike. Like you squeeze as hard as you can, but it just doesn't stop very well. So I think I'm going to rebuild the calipers. It's got double disc brakes on the front, and they're just not acting like they're double disc brakes. They're pretty they're not very good. To say the least. So I'm gonna put new brake pads on. I'm gonna pull apart the calipers, clean the piston up really good, clean off the caliper housing, and put new seals in there, and then put it all back together with new brake pads, and get that all pretty good. I don't think it's a problem with the master cylinder, but if it turns out that it's still not quite right, I'll end up rebuilding the master cylinder on that one too. And then yeah, so fork seals. Oh, I gotta change the tires on that bike. When we bought it, it actually came with 2 brand new tires, like front and rear, and they're just all wrapped up in plastic, and they've just been sitting off to the side. So I'm gonna be changing the tires on that bike. And what else is there to do on that one? I had the fuel system sorted out last year. It's running pretty good. I just kind of want to get it ready because I think my wife wants to drive that one this year. She hasn't really had a chance to ride it since we bought it, because it's been this and that, and it hasn't come together yet for her. So I'm gonna try to get that one going. But I was kind of not feeling up to doing that. That's what I was planning on doing, but I think today I kind of need to do something kind of light duty. And on the xs650 here, I got everything running pretty good. The engine's back in here. I don't know if you've seen my last video on this bike. It's like, I think that was the last video I made, was when I got this finally up and running. I solved the smoking issue on it. Basically rebuilt the whole motor because the rings were shot. So that was a big job. And I finally got it back together. I changed the handlebars on it. I put this dirt bike one. Oh yeah, my hand. This isn't from the accident. This is just a small cut that I have here, and I got a band-aid on there. And it's just, it looks worse than it is. It's just taped. I just put some tape on there to keep the band-aid on, because it's hard to, it won't stick, when you're working. Yeah, all in all, I came out of it no problem. My truck was so solid, I barely, felt a thing. But the guy's car is a whole other story. It was just like a small, compact car. I think it was Mercedes or BMW or something. It was like kind of like a sportier. It was he was a big guy in a compact car. It was hard to get him out. It was kind of jammed in there. But and yeah, so yeah, what I want to do is I want to make sure the points timing is correct. So I'm thinking I'm gonna rig up a light bulb and do the static timing and try to get it just right. And if I can do that, that's the only thing I wanted to do before I put the plate on this bike. It's what's the date? It's like, I think it's the middle of March, and I want to have a couple of bikes ready for by April 15th. So, or before, depending on the weather. We got a couple weeks, I think, of not so good weather, but as soon as we start getting into some nice days, that's gonna be riding season again. So that's cool. But kind of freaked out about riding, actually, to tell you the truth. I mean, someone crosses their lane and hits you on your bike. I mean, there's not much you can do about that. Maybe you could stop a little faster because it's not as heavy. Maybe you get out of the way. I don't know, jump off. I don't know, man. I sure hope somebody doesn't cross their lane or the line and crash into me while I'm riding my bike, or my wife for that matter, or anybody. I wouldn't want to, see anybody go through that. All right, so let's move some stuff around and get started, and we'll try to get something done today. All right. Okay. I've got myself set up here. Hopefully you can see this all right. I put a extra little light here. Put a little more light on the subject. So I'll take this. Look at this. I'll have to take the spark plugs out, and I just want to get all these nuts out before I get the spark plug out, because I don't want to drop anything down the spark plug hole. So we'll go like so. And then I'm going to take this whole points plate out, and I'm going to have a close look at these. I might change these points. I'm going to see if I got another set. I think in my little parts bin I got a... but they don't look too bad though. So I don't know. I'll compare them to the new ones and see if there's anything visibly worn right out. So I'll get this out, and hold on. It's just two bolts that hold the plate down, and I left a spark plug in for now just because I don't want to drop anything down in there, because you'll be sorry if you do that. Alright, so just those two little bolts, and you know, there's a bit of oil in here, eh? Huh. Alright. Wonder where that oil's coming from. Everything tight? Yeah. That's not good. I don't like that. I wonder if the seal's leaking a little bit. Kind of looks like it is. Yeah, that's not too good having all that oil there. I wonder where it's coming from. That's a new seal I put in there, so I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't have a lot of running time on this after it's been rebuilt, so I'm not too sure how much that's leaking, but I mean, you can change the seal, not too hard. You just got to take this thing off and you can change that out, but I'm not quite sure. Okay, so you want to check and see how this advance is returning, and it feels like it could have a little more spring to it. I mean, it moves freely, but it doesn't feel like it's snapping all the way back. Yeah. Let's have a look at the other side. Let's pop this boot off. I wonder if this side's leaking oil. Just gonna reach over and I mean it seems like it's all right. I wonder if these springs could be tensioned up a little bit more. That's what it looks like to me. Like, I wonder if I could pop one of these springs off and just kind of just tweak it a little bit so it's a little tighter. just sort of curling up the end of the spring just a little bit more, because it feels like it's just a little bit loose. There, that should do it. There. There, so that's on there now, and it doesn't feel loose when it's slacked off. I think I need to tighten this one a little bit. You see how I don't know if you can see that. That one feels tighter than that one. So I'm going to just kind of tweak that one a little bit too. There. Oh yeah. There. That feels a lot better. I'll show you. Yeah, so those are returning nicely now. Those are nice and tight on there. Okay, so now I'm going to take this little points cam off and just check it for pits and grooves and stuff, and then I'll probably just kind of polish it up. It's just a little nut and a washer. And that should just slide off. Should just slide off. There we go. You see it's got some material from the part of the points that rides on here. I'm just going to see if I can clean that up a little bit. Let's see what we can come up with. Alright, so I'm just sticking a bolt through it, and just going to put this little nut on here and try to set it up so I can spin it in the drill. And then I got one of these little green pads and some WDs, and we'll see if we can clean that off a bit. I don't want anything too harsh, like sandpaper. We'll try it with the WDs. Let's tighten this down a bit. There, and that way I can put it in the drill. Like so. Put some WDs on here. take this, hold it like so. Oh yeah, it's looking better. Still a little bit on there, but it's nicer than it was. Yeah, right there. Well, here's some 400 grit sandpaper. I'll see if we can get that a little smoother. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that took that right off. There. Here, I'll show you this in a second. There. That took all that buildup off. Looking pretty clean now. There. Nice. So I'll put that back on. And we'll move on to the next step here. The bolt's still good too. I didn't crush the threads, so I'll put that back in the box here. Still a good bolt. Okay. Okay, so we'll put this back on. Little lock washer. There. Make sure that's nice and snug without the work. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So, looking at these points, this little cam follower on this side looks a little more worn out than this one. So, okay, so I've got another set of points here, and I'm looking at this part here that rides on the cam and the points, you know, and it looks like this pad is worn down on this one quite a bit, and you know, I think I'll just change them out, you know, for these newer ones. So I'm gonna Go ahead and do that now. So I'm just gonna, let's see what we got. Alright, so before I put them on, I'm gonna, because it's easy to do right now while they're off, I'm gonna run a little bit of sandpaper in here just to freshen these new ones up. They're new, but I don't know how long they've been sitting around, so I'm just going to break a little bit if there's any oxidation on the surface of them. Just kind of clean them off a bit. I'll just do the same with this one. There we go. Yeah, so this should look like that. I just got to put them on the plate. Oh yeah, there we go. And I'll use this to get it out. Yeah, I'll have to adjust the gap when I get them on there, so I'll just kind of lightly, put it on there so it's movable, and then I'll set them. So it's ready to set, and I'll take these ones off. There we go. Get them out. Put this one in. And I'll clean off the guipe. There's a little piece of stud sticking out there. It just kind of pivots in that hole. And then a flat washer. And let's see if we can hold all this together with a screwdriver. Put it right down on there. Same thing, we'll just kind of cinch it down. You can still move it. There we go. Now I just gotta hook those leads back up and put the plate on, and then we'll set the gaps and stuff. So now I can put these 2 bolts that hold the plate down, and then you can shift the plate and adjust the advanced or retard with these. You can change the timing a bit, which is what we're after here eventually. And then so this thing was kind of set somewhere like that. And then I just want to make sure that this wire is going to tuck away. It should be okay, like that. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so now I gotta set the gap on the point so you're not even touching, so I can shift these back and forth and set the gap. Take the plug out of this side. That way it'll turn better. Let's put that there. And then just gotta grab my feeler gauge. So before I get too ahead of myself, we're just gonna check to make sure the cam chain tensioner is nice. I got proper tension on my cam chain. And I'm just gonna release this cap. I did set it up like not that long ago. It was good, but I'm just gonna double check. And all you gotta do is take this little cap off, and I'll just turn the engine over with a wrench and make sure it's flush with the surface here. So yeah, just take this little cap off, and then alright, let's just see if I can I'm not seeing it, so I'm going to tighten up the cam chain a little bit. That was tightening this up a little bit. I think it's getting close. Yeah, it's right there now. Where's that wrench? Yeah, so I'm just gonna see if I can feel that. Yeah, it's right at the surface now. I think that's good. So yeah, I cranked that in you know, probably like a turn and a half. So that's a little tighter now. Okay, so I'll put this cap back on, and we'll continue on to setting the points gap. Yeah, you want to make sure your cam chain's tight and you don't have any issues with that being out. And then you can do the static type. Okay, so I'm going to be setting this top one here, and I'm just watching. I'm turning the engine over and waiting for them to open. So they're open there. And then I get my feeler gauge. Where did I put that? Right here. And then I'll slide that in. Like so. It's a little bit loose there. I'm just going to close that up a little bit. I think that's alright, so I'll set that down there, and then I'll turn the engine over. Yeah. Close. And then this one, let's see if they open and close here. Yeah. All right, I think I've got the gap set now. It's a little tricky to get it right. So I think the gap set, I got it set to 14 thou, and so now I can set up my light. I've got a light I'll show you in a minute, and we'll see if we can get the points to open on the firing mark here. Okay. So here I've just rigged up a light. Basically it's just like a 12-volt light bulb, generic, just any old. It's a single filament, so for like a signal light or something. And then I soldered, you know, a lead on the tip and a lead on the side. And then I just put some alligator clips on here. So it's just a simple little circuit. So I'll just ground that out to there, and then this should click on. And I'm just clipping this one end to the points there. And I'll just set this like so. And then just gotta turn the key on. Okay, so the key's on. And then, so I'm gonna turn this engine over. And then when the point's open, oh yeah, you'll notice that this rotor becomes magnetized. So your wrench will stick to it. That's normal. That means your rotor's working properly. Okay, so when you turn this like this, and the point's open, see how the light comes on? Right? Now, you see where my timing mark is, it's way off. It's like way past the F, so I gotta bring that back. How am I gonna do that? I gotta move the plate. So I'll put the timing mark right on F. I'm going to shift this plate. There. Like that. I'll lock this down. Alright, and then, oh yeah, there, that's better. So I'll show you. So the engine turns around like this, and when it comes right into the firing mark, boom. So the light comes on. So it was way off there. There. So that's right on the mark now. Okay, cool. So I'm going to lock down that plate with the big screwdriver here. Pretty happy with that. And then there's another plate, an additional plate that you can shift for the other cylinder. So I'm just going to turn the ignition off. And then we'll switch this lead over to the other side. Like so. Just kind of rest it there. So I'm just going to turn this over 100, or full revolution actually. And it should be set to do the other side. Okay, so now we're coming into the zone here. I'll turn the ignition back on. The light should be out. And then there it is there. So yeah, so I'll set that back. So it's sparking right. It's actually pretty much right on time. Right there. And it's right on the firing line. So that's good. It's a little bit late. see. So it should be coming on right now. It's a tiny bit late. Okay. See if I can adjust that a little bit. I loosen up. There's 2 bolts for this plate. Right here and here. And then if I shift it, oh, there we go. So I just advance that just a little bit. Let's see what happens there. Just checking it again. It's not bad. It's pretty much right on time. I think we'll tighten that down there. Tighten it down there, try running it and see if it's nice and smooth. Alright, turn the ignition off. I'll take my wires, my light away. And just make sure everything's tight now. And hopefully it'll start. No problems. Yeah, so before I started, I'm just gonna put a little dab of oil on the points cam here. Just to help those ride on there a bit. That should be good. And so yeah, I've turned the fuel on. And I'm gonna try something different for the first time. I've got this, my buddy has an automotive shop, and he brought this exhaust tube thing over so I can run bikes in the shop here, and it just fits over the tailpipe there. So it'll probably sound a little different because of that, but hopefully it'll get all the exhaust fumes out of the shop and we can have ourselves a little test run here. Okay, so by rights I got the points gap set, the timing advance mechanism working good. I've got the points opening where they should be on the firing mark, and this thing should just start right up. So I have to hold my finger on the choke because I don't have a proper choke lever on the carb. So let's see if I can do this here. Just trying. It hasn't started in since my last video, probably, which is like over a month ago. So for a minute. Oh. I mean, that exhaust pipe thing's working pretty good. It is leaking a little bit of fumes in there, but it's better than without it. It's kind of funny, eh? I don't know how heat resistant that stuff is, so I don't want to get it too hot. Yeah. I think I'll shut it off now. I'm going to shut it off now before I get too hot. And, you know, I don't want to melt that. It looks like it's made out of rubber. It might be high temperature, you know, to a point, but I don't want it to melt all over that pipe. We'll see. But I'm pretty happy with that result. The last set of points I had in there, they were always sparking, eh? And I changed the condensers and stuff, and it always seemed to spark. But these ones, they weren't sparking at all. So that's a good sign. I'm pretty happy about that. And it started a little rough there because, like I said, I hadn't started in a while. It's been sitting there probably, you know, at least 6 weeks or something like that. So I'll try again in a little bit. I'm just gonna let it air out in there a little bit. I'll bring it back and we'll start it up again. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. It's kind of aired out a little better in here now. So yeah, we'll see if we'll start without choke. Oh yeah, beauty. Listen to that. That's awesome. What a difference that makes. It'll probably run even better without that long pipe on the exhaust. Oh yeah, that's great. Oh, super responsive. Yeah, it's running really good. Yeah, that's awesome. That just makes me so happy. Right on. Well, I'm just gonna shut it off again. I'm pretty confident that's got it pretty sorted out there. Oh, I just gotta get outside again. Ugh. It's getting most of the exhaust out, but it's, you know, it's not perfect. It's a lot better than without it, I'll tell you that. That's cool. So I'm just gonna let that air out. Probably go have some lunch and put all the covers and everything back on. I was thinking about adjusting the pilot screw a little bit. Maybe closing off the fuel a little bit. It feels like, it smells like it might be a little bit rich at idle, but not too bad. It seems it's running really good. It's running responsibly. It's good. All right. So yeah, we'll bring it back in a little while. All right. So yeah, it's all cooled down now, and the shop's aired out. And I think that's going to be enough for today. I'm still not feeling too motivated right now, so I just got a couple of covers to put on it, and but I'm pretty sure this thing's ready for the road again. I just gotta wait for some good weather. So next couple of weeks I'll be out riding it around and being very, very careful about it. One thing I was thinking about, I wanted to add to my story about my accident there. Just how greatly the first responders and everybody that showed up to help and everything, and the police were great. They have a hard job. They got to go and see these terrible accidents all the time, and it's got to weigh on their soul quite a bit. So my hat goes off to them and the ambulance people, and you know, the fire department was there, and you know, everybody that came out, you know, did a really good job, and they're very, very, very professional. So hopefully next time you see me, I'll be in you know, a little bit better spirits and stuff, and I plan on doing a bunch of work to that Virago coming up real soon, possibly, you know, next weekend or something like that. I'm gonna be taking tomorrow off work and stuff, and we'll just see how it goes, but should be back in action here, you know, real soon. So anyways, a little bit different of video, and just I haven't posted anything for a while, so I was really looking forward to getting back into the swing of things, and kind of got a little derailed there, but I'm back. I'll be back, you know, getting things going again here real soon. So I want to thank you for watching. If you can, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel out. I really like making these videos and getting them out to you, and we'll see you again real soon. Center Stand Mechanics out.